Hey guys, some gamer dude here. So here's part 2 of our Ava decks, the Rei Avanami half of the first Ava set. If you haven't seen the Shinji one, it went up yesterday. You can find it on the channel. We start with Rei Avanami in green. 3 cost, 2 strength, pilot 2. As we discussed, that means she's an equip card, and she gives leader +2 and 2 strength to an Ava unit. Leader 2 means that when it attacks, the next one gains -2 cost, which in my experience is a really good ability. So she's really good. Plus, you can give her cheaper than summon her. And as a guardian ability, you choose Butler and tap it, which, as I said last time, a running theme through the Ava sets is defensive guardian abilities that stop your opponent's turn from getting too out of hand. And it's a really good card. I like this one overall. I think it's just genuinely good. Reduced costs really help, like ramp in any game. Next up, another Rei, and I'm pretty sure this one's a screen capture, which I'm actually fairly certain is new for Chrono Clash, and does open up some interesting possibilities for Godzilla. Would anyone be up for Godzilla expansions if they were just screen caps? Are their masters nice enough to make screen caps of the Godzilla movies? We'll have to find out later. Anyway, it's My Hero Academia next, and just caught up on My Hero Academia because I'd put it down for quite a while, since episode 12, and I think 20 just came out. Wow, season 4's been terrible. Anyway, 3 cost, 2 strength. She has pilot for cost of 2. And a new ability, Quest Clear, which, for your whole, it has to be, the multi-language thing, there's an awful lot in English on this card. Not an awful lot, I should say. It's more, the defaulting to having to use words to convey things, which is interesting flaw of the system. Anyway, that means when she successfully does, or the card she's equipped to successfully does a quest, you get an EX card, which for a quest clear, it's a +1. You can put EX cards into questing, although your opponent's going to know damn well that they're probably pretty beefy. It's fine, to be honest. I think this is fine. It fuels the questing, so questing costs you less overall. This is actually, there's not that many quest clear cards, but this is one of the better ones. And as a guardian ability, when it's destroyed, it's going to. You get an EX card. I think Rei's pretty good. Next up, we have Gendo Ikari. 4 cost, 4 strength, Sentinel, can't attack, and you can tap it to gain +3 time and choose one of your butlers, and it loses 3 strength. So I think you probably want to choose Gendo, because I'm fairly sure the minus strength recovers at the end of the turn. Yeah, they erase that at the end of the turn. So you can give Gendo that -3, gain +3 time, and it has Sentinel. And as a spoiler, green and I think blue, or green or blue, I forget which one, have ways to get Sentinels back. So you can just kind of keep doing this. And it's actually pretty decent ramp, in all honesty. Gendo has a lot of applications that are really cool, and I think it's our first genuinely good low to mid-tier Sentinel. This one I actually really like, and it's made better because of other green cards. Next up, we have Ava Prototype Unit 0. 4 cost, 5 strength, can't attack butlers, and quest clear, you get a Guardian Shield, which is actually pretty interesting, because if you don't, if your opponent doesn't go for your questers, you can just get shields, so you can start recovering while also going for that victory condition. I think that's actually a really cool design. I really like that. Again, I know there's another Ava Unit 0 that's a really cool card too. So, this is another Ava Unit 0. 6 cost, 6 strength, double breaker. You choose a Battler from your discard pile with Sentinel and return it to your hand. Which, again, I think there's a card that goes with this. It's really cool. It's a good way to get Gendo back. It's a genuinely good card, totally, because you can just get Gendo back, get the +3 time, just keep cycling it, and always have that defensive. And with the other Unit 0, you can just continuously get shields, so you can just, yeah, there are ways to continuously reuse this enter ability. 6th Angel, 7 cost, 7 strength, double breaker, taunt. When it's destroyed, you get +3 time, which is, I'm gonna be honest, not an attacker. I don't like it on an attacker. If this was on a Sentinel, it'd be good, but not on an attacker. Taunt, though. Is it good on Taunt? Again, you have to rely on your opponent questing. So, 10th Angel, sorry. 8 cost, 9 strength, double breaker, Sentinel, can't attack Battlers. Which, gonna be honest, a 9 strength Sentinel is pretty decent. Especially when you can gain so much time with these decks. With this green-blue deck, I think that's a pretty decent card. It's a good Sentinel. There's a running theme of Sentinel in the Rei deck. Next up, we have a first ability card. Kozo Fuyutsuki. That's actually the first time I've even seen his first name. You get an EX card and your Butlers gain Legion 2, which really helps you ramp into really strong things without your opponent gaining a ton of time, which is really good because you can stack the Legion because it keeps going. Your next one gets minus, your next one gets minus. And a Guardian ability, you get an EX card, which I'm fairly sure EX cards also work for Legion. So you can make a EX card really cheap to get out. Really cool. Next up, we have Gendo and Rei, another ability card. You choose 2 Butlers and they gain +3 each, or choose the same one twice. And it's 3 costs, and with the Guardian ability, it goes to your hand. I don't think this one's the greatest of cards. It's got its applications. There's some definite uses there. But I think the deck as a whole is too focused on questing and too passive for this type of card. Next up, we have Rei Avanami. 2 cost, 1 strength. Pilot 1 with Barrier, which we don't see Barrier very often. Any abilities that are used on the board come to her or what she's equipped to. And a Guardian ability, she gives you +1 time, which can be helpful, but it's really not enough time to give massive help. The Barrier's probably best on something with a death trigger. There's some good customization there. You won't die, I will protect you. Which is, why didn't I just call it Rei again? 2 cost, 1 strength, Sentinel. Once destroyed, you get an EX card. This is a chump Sentinel, who cares? It's a filter, that protects your shields. For once, that's good. With a Guardian ability, it returns to your hand. So you get a really... Although, with all the Legion, she's free to get out. She's like a free shield. It's hard to complain about that. But with all the strength reduction, is she really worth bringing out at 1? It's your decision. So, Evangelion Unit 0 again. 2 cost, 3 strength. Sentinel can't attack. Tap for +1 time. It's kind of a worse Gendo. And as a Guardian ability, you choose Butler and it can't attack, which is good. I kind of prefer Gendo, but they're definitely balanced with each other in mind. Next up, we have tentative name Rei Avanami. 3 cost, 1 strength, pilot 1 when it fights against +2 strength. So it's a 1 for +3 strength overall, and a Guardian ability of draw a card. 1 for 3, perfectly fine. Helps smash faces. Although I think I'd just rather something with a keyword type ability. AV Unit 0 again. 5 cost, 5 strength, barrier. When it fights, your battlers gain withdraw, which is actually pretty good. So if they die while they're fighting, they just all start returning to your hand, then you can repopulate your field. You don't actually lose cards with this one. That's pretty nifty. AV Unit 0 again, 6 cost, 6 strength, double breaker, withdraw. When it fights, it becomes a 7 against +1 strength. Double breaker with withdraw, it's kind of mediocre. You'd have to make it into something decent. and I don't think it's really got enough going for it. The Sixth Angel, 6 cost, 8 strength, double breaker, taunt. When it fights, tap all your butlers. Now this one's interesting. If you have sentinels out that you don't want to attack because they're going to become vulnerable, or your opponent might do something via a guardian ability, this will just tap them. It's a last thing you do type card, and it puts all your attackers at vulnerability, but it does set up all your sentinels without having them attack the guardian stack. I think that's actually really cool. I like the design on that one. Next up we have the 10th Angel, 7 cost, 6 strength, double breaker, taunt. Once destroyed you get +2 time. Again, you have to get them to destroy it or attack it. Has its applications, it's fine. Thank you. 2 cost Guardian action card. Choose a butler and tap it. You get an EX card, and as Guardian build it goes to your hand. For just getting an EX card or putting something into a vulnerable state, it's fine. 2 for 1. AV unit 0 EVS, 4 cost, 4 strength, fast. When it fights, all your butlers gain +4 strength, which is pretty good. So it's a 4 for 8 in reality, at least on your turn. That's a good game-winning card that I think this deck actually needs. And you can give it some other abilities. Another EVS unit 0, 6 cost, 6 strength, fast, sentinel, double breaker. Very vanilla card. Well, basic card, I should say. It's fine. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it's a very, very meh card. Ava Prototype Unit 0, 8 cost, 10 strength, quadruple breaker, and fast. You could actually make this thing into a world breaker if you wanted. You just take all their guardians at a 10 strength. It's going to do it. Because again, it'll become, I think, a 13 with that Shinji. AV Unit 0, cost 2, 3 strength, fast, withdraw. When it comes out, you choose a butler and tap it. It's fine. You can make this one free very easily. Just bring it out and tap something, and you can keep using it. Because giving it a -2 time is really easy. Via the leader ability, just keep bringing it out and tapping things. AV Unit 0 again, because pretty sure the entire Guardian stack is. 4 cost, 5 strength, fast, can't attack battlers. When it fights, it draws you a card, which is actually really nifty. That really does help questing, because you can refuel the hand for more questing. That's actually a big flaw of questing. You run out of cards. But this helps. And Sele. 5 cost, get +5 time. Draw a card, draw an EX card. That's gives you a lot to play with. It's fairly interesting. Now, I'm just going to pause here for a sec. Yes, I am right. There is a blue card in one of the other decks that gives that AV Unit 0 that returns a Sentinel from your discard pile to your hand the ability to do it every single turn whenever it attacks, instead of as an enter ability. The potential defensively of this deck is really cool. I think they've actually given this deck enough support to play defensively. I think it's the first time we've actually seen Sentinel used to its full application, but I think it's sad in a lot of ways that the mechanic is so poor. It needs this much support to work. I think that's some really poor card design, and honestly poor game design, and would be fully circumvented with blockers. No, I'm not going to stop. I know it's going to get annoying, but maybe we should start bothering them until they get the hint that blockers are just superior to Sentinels. Anyway, I do actually like this deck. I think the Rei and Shinji deck is definitely worth picking up. It looks really interesting, and actually, I can't wait to get it. I'm actually kind of hyped. It's, at least, it doesn't have that air of disappointment that the Godzilla set says. Actually, I haven't heard anything about the Evangelion set yet, but maybe that's a good thing because it means people are happy with it. I'm honestly looking forward to it. It looks good. It looks like I'll be happy with it. And to be quite frank, if it looks this good and if it plays as good as it looks, I'm pretty sure you guys will be happy with it too. Anyway, this has been Some Gamer Dude. Check back next week for Asuka and Quaru, and thanks for watching.